The Galactic Empire's command center buzzed with tension. Screens glowed with star maps, and officers shouted orders. The massive station, orbiting the capital world of Luminar, was the heart of the Empire's military might. For centuries, the Empire had ruled the stars, crushing every rebellion and rival fleet. No enemy dared challenge their warships, armed with plasma cannons and shielded by unbreakable hulls. But today something was wrong. Admiral Tor, a grizzled veteran with a scar across his face, stared at the main screen. A distress signal blinked from the edge of the Orion sector. The Third Fleet, one of the Empire's strongest, had gone silent. No reports, no updates, just static. Tor's gut twisted. The Third Fleet had 50 warships, each a floating fortress. What could silence them? "Get me a visual," Tor barked. A young officer, Lila, tapped her console. "Sir, the signal's gone." No response from any ship. "Impossible," Tor growled. "Scan the sector. Find them." The room fell quiet as the scanners hummed. Then a ping. Data streamed in and the screen flickered to life. The officers gasped. Wreckage floated across the void. Twisted metal, shattered hulls, and glowing debris. The Third Fleet was gone. Not damaged. Not defeated. Annihilated. What did this? Lila whispered, her face pale. Tor's eyes narrowed. "Check the records. Every species, every weapon, find a match." Hours passed as the analysts searched. The Empire's database held records of every known race, from the insectoid krill to the plasma-wielding Vorn. But nothing matched. No weapon in their archives could vaporize an entire fleet in minutes. No species could move that fast, strike that hard, and vanish without a trace. "Sir," Lila said, her voice shaking, "there's nothing. No record of any force like this." Tor slammed his fist on the console. "Then what are we dealing with?" Far away in the Orion sector, a small scout ship drifted among the wreckage. Pilot Jake, a low-ranking recruit, had been sent to investigate. His ship, the Sparrow, was old and barely armed, but it was fast. Jake's hands trembled as he steered through the debris. The remains of the Third Fleet surrounded him, warships torn apart like paper. His radio crackled with static, but no voices came through. "Come on, Sparrow, don't fail me now," Jake muttered, checking his sensors. The readings were off the charts. Energy spikes, unlike anything he'd seen, lingered in the area. Whatever hit the fleet wasn't plasma or ion-based. It was different. Suddenly, his sensors beeped. A shadow appeared on his screen. A massive shape, cloaked in darkness, moving faster than any ship should. Jake's heart raced. "Command, this is Sparrow." "I've got something." Wait, it's gone." The shadow vanished as quickly as it appeared. Jake checked again, but the sensors showed nothing. Had he imagined it? No, the energy spike was real. He recorded the data and sent it to the command center. "Command, I'm heading back. You need to see this." Back on Luminar, Tor watched Jake's data stream in. The energy readings were impossible. No known technology could produce that kind of power. The shadow's shape didn't match any ship in their records. It wasn't Krill, Vorn, or even the rogue AI drones from the Outer Rim. It was something else, something new. "Admiral," Lila said, What if this isn't one of our enemies? What if it's something we've never met?" Tor's jaw tightened. The Empire had explored every corner of the galaxy. They'd mapped every star, cataloged every species. The idea of an unknown force was unthinkable. But the evidence was clear. Something out there was stronger than the Empire, and it was hiding. "Send a message to all fleets," Tor ordered. "Full alert. Prepare for war." Across the galaxy, the Empire's warships powered up. Factories churned out drones and weapons. The capital world braced for an attack. But deep in the Orion sector, the unknown force waited. It didn't broadcast threats or demand surrender. It didn't need to. Its power was clear in the wreckage it left behind. Jake, still in the Sparrow, felt a chill as he flew back to base. He couldn't shake the image of that shadow. It wasn't just a ship. It felt alive, and it was watching. As the Empire scrambled to respond, one question burned in every mind. What was this force? And why hadn't it struck again? The Galactic Empire's war machine roared to life. Starships patrolled the borders of the Orion sector, their sensors sweeping for any sign of the unknown force. On Luminar, the capital world, lights burned late in the command center. Admiral Tor paced before a holographic map, his eyes fixed on the blinking red dot where the Third Fleet had been destroyed. The debris field was all that remained, a silent warning of a power the Empire couldn't name. Any word from the scout? Tor asked, his voice gruff. Lila, the young officer, checked her console. The Sparrow is docking now, sir. Pilot Jake sent more data. It's strange. Strange how? Tor snapped. The energy readings, Lila said, pulling up a graph. They're not consistent with any known weapon. It's like the Force used something that bends space itself. Tor frowned. That's impossible. No one has that technology. Lila hesitated. Sir, there's something else. Jake reported a shadow, a ship that appeared and vanished. His sensors barely caught it. Tor's stomach churned. A cloaked ship? The Empire had stealth tech, but nothing this advanced.
Get Jake in here.
I want his report in person. Meanwhile, in the docking bay, Jake climbed out of the Sparrow, his legs shaky. The memory of that shadow haunted him. It wasn't just its speed or size, it was the way it moved, like a predator stalking prey. He slung his gear over his shoulder and headed to the command center, ignoring the stares of other pilots. They'd heard about the Third Fleet. They knew he'd seen something. In the command center, Jake stood before Tor. Sir, I saw it, he said, his voice steady despite his nerves. It was huge, bigger than our dreadnoughts, but it moved like it weighed nothing. My sensors caught an energy spike, then it was gone. Gone? Tor leaned forward. You mean cloaked? Maybe, Jake said. But it didn't feel like a cloak. It was like... It wasn't fully here. The room went quiet. Officers exchanged uneasy glances. Lila spoke up. Sir, I cross-checked Jake's data with our archives again. There's still no match. But I found something odd. Old records from before the Empire's expansion mention a lost colony. A species that vanished centuries ago. They called themselves humans. Humans, Tor scoffed. A myth. A primitive race that died out. They barely had spaceflight. Lila shook her head. The records are incomplete, but they mention humans experimenting with strange tech. Things the Empire never pursued. Tor waved her off.
Focus on what's real.
Send more scouts to the Orion sector. I want answers. Far from Luminar, in a distant corner of the galaxy, a hidden base hummed with activity. Deep within an asteroid field shielded from Empire sensors, a fleet of sleek, dark ships waited. Their hulls gleamed with an unnatural sheen, reflecting no light. Inside the largest ship, a figure stood on the bridge, watching a hologram of the destroyed Third Fleet. Captain, a crew member named Mira said, the Empire's mobilizing. They're sending more ships to the sector. The captain, a tall man with sharp eyes, nodded. Good, let them come. They'll find nothing. Mira hesitated. Should we strike again? Not yet, the captain said. We've shown them our strength. Now we let them panic. Fear will do half our work. The crew worked in silence, their technology far beyond the Empire's. Their ships didn't just cloak, they slipped between dimensions, moving through rifts in space. Their weapons didn't fire plasma or lasers. They tore reality itself, shredding anything in their path. The Empire had no defense against them. Back on Luminar, Jake couldn't sleep. He sat in his quarters, replaying the shadow in his mind. He'd seen something the Empire didn't understand, and it scared him. But it also stirred something else, curiosity. Who were they? Why hadn't they attacked again? He pulled up the data he'd recorded, zooming in on the energy spike. There was a pattern, almost like a signal. He wasn't sure, but it felt intentional. In the command center, Tor received a new report. Another fleet, the Fifth, had detected an anomaly near the Orion sector. A brief energy surge, then nothing. No wreckage, no attack, just silence. Tor's hands clenched. The unknown force was toying with them. They're out there, he muttered, and they're watching us. As the Empire braced for war, the hidden fleet prepared its next move. The humans, long forgotten, were ready to reclaim their place in the stars. The Galactic Empire's fleets were on edge. Warships patrolled the Orion sector, their crews tense, scanning for any sign of the unknown force. On Luminar, the capital world, the command center hummed with activity. Admiral Tor stood before a massive holographic map, his face grim. Reports of strange energy spikes had multiplied, but no enemy ships were found. The Empire was chasing ghosts. Anything new? Tor asked, his voice sharp. Lila, the young officer, shook her head. Nothing solid, sir. The Fifth Fleet reported another anomaly last night. An energy surge, then silence. No damage, no wreckage. It's like they're taunting us. Tor's jaw tightened. They're testing our defenses. But why not attack? Across the room, Pilot Jake sat quietly, studying his tablet. The data from his scout mission in the Orion sector still gnawed at him. The shadow he'd seen, the strange energy pattern, it wasn't random. He'd spent hours analyzing it, and now he was sure it was a signal. Not a weapon, not a glitch, but a message. He just couldn't crack it, Admiral, Jake said, standing. I think they're trying to communicate. Tor turned, his eyes narrowing. Communicate? They destroyed the Third Fleet without a word. Jake held up his tablet. This signal from my scan, it's structured like a code. I don't know what it says, but it's deliberate. Lila leaned over, intrigued.
Can I see?
She studied the data, her brow furrowing. He's right, sir. It's not random noise, it's almost like a language, Tor grunted. If they want to talk, why hide? Why destroy our fleet? Before anyone could answer, an alarm blared. The holographic map flickered and a red alert flashed. The 7th Fleet, stationed near the Orion sector's edge, was under attack. Tor rushed to the main console. Get me a feed. The screen lit up with chaos. Warships exploded in bursts of light, their shields useless. Officers shouted over the comms, their voices panicked. Unknown vessels. They appeared from nowhere. Weapons unlike anything. The feed cut to static. The room froze. Lila's hands trembled as she checked the data. Sir, it's the same energy signature as before. They hit the 7th Fleet and vanished. How many ships? Tor demanded. Lila swallowed. All of them. The entire fleet. Gone. Tor slammed his fist on the console. Enough! Mobilize every fleet. I want the Orion sector locked down. Whatever this force is, we'll crush it. Far away in the hidden asteroid base, the human fleet prepared for its next move. The captain stood on the bridge of his flagship watching a hologram of the destroyed 7th Fleet. His crew worked silently, their advanced tech humming. Their ships, cloaked in dimensional rifts, were invisible to the Empire's scanners. Their weapons, powered by quantum disruptors, tore through reality itself. Mira, the captain's second-in-command, approached. Captain, the Empire's panicking. They're sending every ship to the Orion sector. The captain smiled faintly. Perfect. They're spreading themselves thin. Why not finish them now? Mira asked. We could hit their capital. The captain shook his head. Not yet. The Empire needs to feel fear. Let them chase shadows a little longer. Mira nodded, but her eyes lingered on the hologram. What about the signal we sent? Did they receive it? They did, the captain said. Whether they understand it is another question. Back on Luminar, Jake couldn't let the signal go. He sat in his quarters, running it through every decoder he knew. It was complex, layered in ways that defied Empire tech. But one fragment stood out, a repeating pulse almost like a greeting. He leaned back, rubbing his eyes. Who are you? He muttered. In the command center, Tor faced a new problem. The Empire's leaders were losing faith. Governors from outer worlds demanded answers, and rumors spread of an unstoppable enemy. Some whispered about the old human myths, about a race that vanished but never died. Tor dismissed the talk, but doubt crept into his mind. As night fell on Luminar, Jake made a breakthrough. A single word emerged from the signal, peace. His heart raced. Was the unknown force offering a truce? Or was it a trick? He grabbed his tablet and ran to the command center. Outside, in the void, the human fleet waited. Their next move would change the galaxy forever. The command center on Luminar was a storm of chaos. Alarms wailed as reports flooded in. More energy spikes near the Orion sector, but no attacks. The Galactic Empire's fleets were stretched thin, their crews exhausted from chasing an enemy that struck and vanished. Admiral Tor stood at the center of it all, his face lined with stress. The loss of the 7th Fleet had shaken the Empire's confidence, and whispers of rebellion grew among the outer worlds. Admiral, Jake burst into the room, clutching his tablet. I cracked part of the signal. Tor turned, his eyes sharp. What did you find, pilot? Jake held up the tablet, showing a single word. Peace. It's from the unknown force, he said. I think they're trying to talk to us. Lila, the young officer, leaned closer. Peace after destroying 2 fleets? Why would they offer that? Maybe it's a trick, Tor growled. A way to lower our guard. Jake shook his head. The signal structure is complex, but it's not hostile. There's more to it. I just need time to decode the rest. Tor stared at the word on the screen. Peace. It didn't fit. The Empire had ruled through strength, not diplomacy. An enemy this powerful wouldn't beg for peace, they'd demand surrender. Keep working on it, he told Jake, but don't expect me to trust it. As Jake returned to his quarters, the weight of the discovery pressed on him. The signal wasn't just a message. It was a puzzle. The word peace was only the start. Hidden in the data were coordinates, pointing to a barren system deep in the Orion sector. Why would the unknown force send them there? He didn't know, but he felt drawn to find out. Far away in the hidden asteroid base, the human fleet prepared for their next step. The captain stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching a hologram of the Empire's movements. Their warships swarmed the Orion sector, searching blindly. The humans' dimensional tech kept them invisible, their ships slipping through rifts in space. They were ghosts, untouchable. Mira, the captain's second-in-command, approached. "The Empire received our signal," she said. "They're trying to decode it," the captain nodded. "Good. Let's see if they're smart enough to listen." "Why offer peace?" Mira asked. "We could crush them now." The captain's eyes hardened. "The Empire's ruled the galaxy for too long, but we're not here to destroy. We're here to change things. If they meet us at the coordinates, we'll talk. If not..." He trailed off, his meaning clear. Back on Luminar, Jake worked through the night. The signal's deeper layers revealed more. A request for a meeting, a promise of no violence. The coordinates pointed to a dead star system, empty except for a single planet. Jake's gut told him it was real, but doubt lingered. What if it was a trap? He took his findings to Lila. "Look at this," he said, showing her the coordinates. "They want to meet. No weapons, no fleet, just one ship." Lila frowned. "It's too risky. The Admiral will never agree." "We have to try," Jake insisted. "If we keep fighting, more fleets will be destroyed. We can't match their power." Lila hesitated, then nodded. "I'll help you convince him." In the command center, Tor was skeptical. "A meeting? In an empty system? They'll ambush us." Jake stood firm. "Sir, they could have attacked Luminar by now." "They haven't. This is a chance to understand what they want." Tor rubbed his temples. The Empire was crumbling under fear. Governors were pulling their forces back, and morale was collapsing. He didn't trust the unknown force, but he was running out of options. "Fine," he said. "One ship. You go, Jake. The Sparrow's fast enough to escape if it's a trap." Jake's heart pounded. "Yes, sir." As the Sparrow launched toward the coordinates, the Empire braced for the worst. Fleets formed a defensive line around Luminar. Cannons charged. On the human base, the captain watched Jake's ship on a hologram. "He's coming," he said to Mira. "Let's hope he brings the Empire's answer." In the void, Jake gripped the controls, the dead star system looming closer. The signal's promise of peace echoed in his mind, but so did the wreckage of the 3rd and 7th fleets. Whatever waited ahead, the galaxy's fate hung in the balance. The Sparrow streaked through the void, its engines humming as pilot Jake approached the coordinates from the mysterious signal. The dead star system loomed ahead, a cold gray planet orbiting a dim, lifeless star. Jake's heart raced. The Galactic Empire had sent him alone, a single scout ship against an unknown force that had obliterated entire fleets. The word peace from the decoded signal echoed in his mind, but doubt gnawed at him. Was this a trap? "Command, this is Sparrow," Jake said into the radio. "I'm entering the system." "No contacts yet?" Admiral Tor's voice crackled back. "Stay sharp, Jake. If anything moves, get out." Jake nodded, though no one could see. His sensors scanned the planet below. It was barren. No cities, no bases, just endless rock. But a faint energy pulse flickered on his screen, matching the signal's signature. Something was here. Suddenly, his sensors blared. A massive shadow appeared, not on the planet but in space, just beyond his ship. It wasn't cloaked, it simply wasn't there a moment ago. The ship was enormous, its sleek, dark hull absorbing all light. Jake's hands froze on the controls. "Command, I've got contact." "One ship, it's huge." "Don't engage," Tor ordered. "Report and retreat if it moves." But the ship didn't move. A signal pinged Jake's console, not an attack, but a message. Text appeared on his screen. "Land on the planet. No weapons. We will talk." Jake hesitated. His orders were clear: observe, don't engage. But the signal's promise of peace pulled at him. If he fled now, the Empire might never learn the truth. "Command, they want me to land." "Permission to proceed?" Tor's voice was tense. "You're risking your life, pilot, but go. Find out what they want." Jake steered the Sparrow toward the planet, landing on a flat, rocky plain. The air was thin but breathable. He stepped out, his suit's sensors scanning for threats. The massive ship hovered above, silent and still. Then a hatch opened and a figure emerged. A man, human-like, in a sleek dark uniform. He carried no weapon. "I'm the captain," the man said, his voice calm. "You're from the Empire." Jake nodded, his throat dry. "I'm Jake. Why did you call me here?" "We sent the signal," the captain said. "We want peace, but the Empire must listen." Jake blinked. "You destroyed our fleets." "That's not peace." The captain's eyes hardened. "We had to show our strength. The Empire only respects power. But we don't want war. We want a new galaxy, one where no one rules through fear." Jake frowned. "Who are you?" "Our records don't show your kind." The captain smiled faintly. "We're humans. Your Empire forgot us, but we never forgot you." Jake's mind reeled. "Humans? The myths were true? You're the lost colony?" "Not lost," the captain said. "Hidden. We built our strength in secret, away from your Empire's reach. Our technology outgrew yours. We could destroy you, but that's not our goal." Back on Luminar, Tor and Lila monitored Jake's feed. The audio was faint, but the word humans sent a chill through the command center. Lila pulled up old records, her hands shaking. "Sir, the human colony. It vanished centuries ago. We thought they were extinct." Tor's face darkened. "If they're back, they're a threat. Prepare the fleets." "But Jake's still there," Lila said. "He's talking to them." Tor didn't answer. His trust in peace was fading fast. On the planet, Jake pressed the captain. "Why destroy our fleets if you want peace?" "To wake you up," the captain said. "The Empire's ruled too long, crushing anyone who resists. We've watched you for years. Now we're ready to change things. Join us or step aside." Jake's mind raced. The Empire wasn't perfect, but it was his home. Yet the humans' power was undeniable. "What happens if we refuse?" he asked. The captain's gaze was steady. "Then the galaxy will see more wrecks." As Jake processed the words, his radio crackled. "Sparrow, this is command. Return immediately. We're mobilizing for war." Jake glanced at the captain, who stood waiting. The choice was his: stay and talk or flee and fight. Above, the human ship loomed, a silent promise of power. The galaxy's future rested on what happened next. Jake stood on the barren planet, the cold wind tugging at his suit. Above him, the human captain's massive ship loomed, its dark hull a silent threat. The captain's words echoed in his mind. "Join us or step aside." The Galactic Empire's order to return buzzed through his radio, but Jake's feet felt rooted to the ground. The humans, long thought extinct, were real, and their power dwarfed anything the Empire had. But was their offer of peace genuine? "Jake," the captain said, his voice steady, "the Empire's ruled through fear for centuries. We've seen it, worlds crushed, species enslaved. We want a galaxy where strength doesn't mean tyranny. Will you help us?" Jake's heart pounded. "You destroyed our fleets. Thousands died. How can I trust you?" The captain's eyes softened. "We struck to show we can't be ignored. But we spared your scout ship. We sent the signal. We're here talking because we believe the Empire can change." Jake glanced at the Sparrow, his only way back. The Empire was his home, flawed but familiar. Yet the captain's words stirred something, a doubt about the Empire's iron grip on the galaxy. "What do you want from me?" he asked. "Be our voice," the captain said. "Tell your leaders we want peace, not war. Meet us again with their answer in 3 days." Jake nodded slowly. "I'll try." "But they're preparing for war. They won't listen easily." The captain stepped back. "Then make them listen, or the next fight won't end with a signal." His ship hummed, and in a blink it vanished, slipping into a rift beyond Jake's understanding. Jake climbed into the Sparrow and launched, his mind racing. The humans' technology was beyond anything he'd seen. Ships that bent reality, weapons that shredded fleets. But their talk of peace felt real. Could he convince the Empire? On Luminar, the command center was a frenzy. Admiral Tor barked orders as fleets massed near the Orion sector. Warships powered up, their cannons primed. The loss of the 3rd and 7th fleets had ignited fear across the Empire, and now governors demanded action. Rumors of the human threat spread, fueling panic. Lila met Jake as he docked. "What happened?" she asked, her eyes wide. "Did you see them?" "They're humans," Jake said, handing her his tablet with the recorded conversation. "They want peace, but they'll fight if we don't listen." Lila scanned the data, her face pale. "Humans. The lost colony. How are they this strong?" "They've been hiding," Jake said. "Building tech we can't match. They want a meeting in 3 days to talk peace." Tor overheard and stormed over. Peace after they wiped out our fleets? This is a trick, pilot. Jake stood firm. I saw their ship, sir. They could have killed me, but they didn't. They want change, not destruction. Tor's eyes narrowed. Change? The Empire doesn't bow to threats. We'll crush them. Sir, Lila said. Their tech is beyond ours. The energy signatures, the way they vanish. Our weapons can't touch them. Tor slammed his fist on a console. Then we'll find a way. Send probes to those coordinates. If it's a trap, we'll know. Jake's stomach twisted. The Empire was charging toward war, blind to the humans' power. He thought of the captain's words, a galaxy without tyranny. Was it possible? He spent the night poring over the signal's data, searching for proof to sway Tor. Hidden in the code was a blueprint, a glimpse of human tech, shared as a gesture of trust. It showed a shield that could block their quantum weapons. If the Empire had it, they might stand a chance. In the hidden asteroid base, the human captain watched a hologram of the Empire's fleets. Mira stood beside him. They're mobilizing, she said. They're not listening, the captain frowned. The pilot, Jake, he listened. He's our chance. If he fails, we move to the next phase. What's that? Mira asked. The captain's voice was cold. We show them what we're truly capable of. As the Empire's warships gathered, Jake prepared to face Tor again. The blueprint could prove the human's sincerity, or be seen as a taunt. With 3 days until the meeting, the galaxy teetered on the brink. Jake knew one thing. If he couldn't stop the war, the Empire would face a force it couldn't survive. The Galactic Empire's fleets loomed in the Orion sector, a wall of warships ready for war. On Luminar, the command center buzzed with tension. Admiral Tor stared at the holographic map, his face set in a scowl. The deadline for the human meeting was hours away, and the Empire's leaders demanded action. Destroy the unknown force, they said before it struck again. But Pilot Jake stood before Tor, clutching his tablet. Determined to change their course, Sir, Jake said. The humans sent this. He displayed the blueprint from the signal, a design for a shield that could block their quantum weapons. They shared this to prove they want peace. They could have kept it secret, but they didn't. Tor's eyes narrowed. A shield? Why give us their tech? It's a trap to weaken us. Lila, the young officer, stepped forward. Sir, I've analyzed it. The blueprint is real. If we build it, our fleets could survive their weapons. They're offering a way to avoid war. Tor hesitated. The Empire had ruled through strength, crushing any threat. Trusting an enemy, especially one as powerful as the humans, was unthinkable. But the wreckage of the 3rd and 7th fleets haunted him. What do they want in return? He asked. Jake took a deep breath. They want a new galaxy. No tyranny, no oppression. They'll meet us at the coordinates to talk, but if we attack, they'll fight and we'll lose. Tor's hands clenched. We don't negotiate with ghosts. Then let me go, Jake said. One ship, one chance. If it's a trap, I'll take the fall. But if it's real, we can stop this war. Tor stared at him, then nodded. Go, pilot. But if you fail, the fleets move in. Jake launched the Sparrow toward the barren planet, his heart pounding. The coordinates were the same, a dead system, a rocky world. As he landed, the human ship appeared, slipping out of a rift in space. Its dark hull gleamed, a reminder of its power. The captain stepped out alone, his expression calm but firm. You brought your Empire's answer? The captain asked. Jake nodded. They're ready to fight, but I convinced them to talk. They want proof you mean peace. The captain gestured to the ship. We'll show you. Come aboard. Against his instincts, Jake followed. Inside, the human ship was unlike anything he'd seen. Sleek, alive with humming tech that bent reality itself. The captain led him to a screen showing the galaxy. For centuries, your Empire crushed worlds, he said. We hid, built our strength, and now we're back. Not to rule, but to free. Jake saw images of human colonies, hidden systems thriving with advanced tech, free from the Empire's grip. You could have destroyed us, he said. Why didn't you? The captain's eyes met his. Because humans don't build empires on ashes. We want peace, but we'll fight to protect it. Jake recorded everything, his mind racing. The humans' tech was centuries ahead, but their goal wasn't conquest, it was balance. He returned to the Sparrow and sent the data to Luminar. Admiral, they're human like the old myths. They want peace, not war. But if we attack, they'll end us. In the command center, Tor and Lila watched the feed. The human ship, the colonies, the tech, it was real. Lila spoke first. Sir, we can't win this fight. Their shields, their weapons, they're too strong. But if we talk, we could rebuild, Tor's face hardened. The Empire's pride screamed for war, but the evidence was clear. Another fleet lost would cripple them. Send a signal, he said finally. We'll meet them. No weapons. The galaxy held its breath as the Empire's flagship, unarmed, landed on the barren planet. Tor faced the human captain, tension thick in the air. You want peace? Tor said. Prove it. No more attacks, the captain nodded. No more attacks. Share the galaxy or lose it. Days later, the Empire and humans signed a truce. The humans shared their shield tech, and the Empire began to loosen its grip on the outer worlds. Jake, now a liaison, worked to bridge the gap. The galaxy wasn't perfect, but it was changing. The humans, once forgotten, had returned not as conquerors, but as a force for freedom. And in the stars, the message was clear. Humanity's strength wasn't just in their weapons, but in their will to build a better future.